Welcome to the Dr. Raj podcast with Dr. Raj Dasgupta, a show all about educating patients, students, and aspiring doctors about better patient care. Dr. Raj is a quadruple board-certified physician and associate professor at the University of Southern California. He was a co-host of the TNT series Chasing the Cure with Ann Curry, as well as a regular on the TV show The Doctors. And now, here's our show.
Hi, and welcome to the Dr. Raj podcast. And what is this a podcast of? The magical words are happiness and wellness, amazing people, amazing stories. And yes, I'm doing the little hand motion here of medicine. I do love medicine. But today is something actually really cool. I'm going to do a reverse podcast. I don't even know what that means, but it just sounds really cool. So we're doing it. So I want to be the guest. And today, someone's going to be the new host of my podcast. And you know what? This seems kind of weird as an anesthesiologist. I always thought pulmonary and anesthesiology don't get along together, but we are today. And so the guest host of my podcast is going to be Dr. Travis McVay. And he seems to be pretty cool. So I'm excited to do this. And I'm going to turn my podcast to you, Travis. You take it from here.
Well, Dr. Raj, it is an honor to be here. I get along with pulmonologists generally. Let's keep the streak alive today. So yeah, I'm an honor to be here. I've been getting familiar with your work. Been reading some of your books, listening to some of your podcasts. So thank you so much for letting me get on here and talk to you and let your listeners get to know you all over again.
Oh, you're super welcome. And maybe one day if we have like a simulation lab, we could have like some kind of intubating contest, because I think that's where we compete, right? Who's a better master of the airway? Even though it's probably you.
I'm game. We can even make it interesting too. A signed copy of Beyond the Pearls.
Okay.
I'll just start this off. You know that I have a podcast called Thank You Notes, and it's about people writing thank you notes and whether or not they do write thank you notes. So, Dr. Raj, do you write thank you notes?
You know what? I always think it's important to be honest in these podcasts. So I'm going to say no, that, I should, but actually I don't write thank you notes. And it's because of your podcast. It really made me just kind of think back. But I will say this is that my wife, and she's not behind me, she's not making me say this, she's actually really, really good when it comes to writing thank you notes. And, sometimes I give her like a hard time, like, you could just give someone a call, which is kind of like what I do. I always feel that, if someone goes above and beyond, I like to shout it from the rooftops. And I think part of me is like, it's not laziness, but I feel like if I write a thank you note, it's just that person. And my innate personality is kind of like on a podcast, I want to let everyone know who just is awesome in my life, whether that's going to be Kaplan Medical. Is it Elsevier being the best book publisher in the whole world? I love saying thank you publicly. So the answer is I don't do it enough, but I know I should.
So when you do get a gift, you shout it to the world. You make public declarations, maybe not on a signed, sealed card, but you let the world know.
I'm not ashamed to do it. I think hearing the word thank you when someone's appreciative of what they do, it's just amazing. And I think that, not everyone's the same. And that's why I think everyone's an individual, but that's my way of showing my gratitude.
Now, you are a father of how many children?
Oh man, I'm a father of 3. I have 3 amazing kids, and I'll go the name age combos. So my oldest is Mina, she's 10. My middle one is Aiden, and I'm just giving him a hug right now. He has autism, but I love him, oh my God, so much. He works so hard. And my youngest is Sadie, and she's 3 years old, and Aiden's 8, by the way.
Okay. Now, when your children receive gifts, are they writing thank you notes at your wife's behest, or what are they doing?
So this is great. So I could say when it comes to them that we are a little more strict when it comes to writing thank you notes, especially especially when it's around that Christmas time, especially when it's like her birthdays and, when they receive gifts. I just think that I was taught to be very appreciative of these things. So my wife, it's always my wife, will sit down with them and we'll write thank you notes back to the people who gave gifts. And we'll do it old school style. Like we'll go to like Target and buy like a bunch of thank you cards. So
Yes.
they are super good about that. And I will say, more importantly, when it comes to my grandparents, my mom and dad played a huge part of, all my grandkids growing up, especially Mina and Aiden. And they do a really good job for whatever it is to always say thank you in a card note. Because you know how grandparents are. Some grandparents,
Yes.
they had a choice of getting the most expensive, car or diamond ring or whatever it is. They'd rather just take a handwritten note from their grandkids and put it on their mirror. And that just means the world to them. So when it comes to grandparents, definitely thank you notes aplenty.
And they save them too. They'll just have boxes of them from years and years.
Yeah. Oh, and you know what? One of the questions you're going to ask me, I want to go back because I had such a great answer on it. You were going to ask me what was the last thank you note I wrote. And I actually did write one. Even though I say I don't write them, I did write one. And it actually is not because of you in this podcast. I just wanted to say I wrote it literally about a week ago because my auntie, and her name, she's Filipino. I'm half Indian, half Filipino. So I call her Auntie Baby, even though it's not her real name. My dad has Alzheimer's and he's in hospice, and hey, it stinks, but he's very comfortable. And my mom takes care of my dad, and my mom's already 80 and she's tiny, like super tiny. And it's just, breaks my heart. I don't have enough time to be around there all the time and to help. And I want to help. But of all the relatives, my mom's sister, who's in Canada, left her fam and everything to spend literally 3 to 4 months with my mom just to help her with my dad. That's baller. That's super baller. You know what I mean? And she did it out of her heart. And no one on my dad's side, no one else on my mom's side, just my auntie. And, I just wrote a little thank you card. I did more than just that. I mean, I took her out a bunch of times, but yeah. And I think that totally deserved it. And I actually really wanted to say that because, like I just told you, it's more than just a card for me. I like this to be put in my podcast, which she listens to anyway. So she's really going to love this.
Well, that's so I have this right. Your wife's aunt came to take. Oh
no. My mom's.
Your mom's aunt.
Sister.
Okay.
My mom's sister did it.
Your mom's sister.
Yeah.
Crossed the marital lines to take care of your dad.
Yes.
This is in-laws.
Yes.
That deserves the round of applause.
Oh, dude, Auntie Baby is so awesome.
Auntie Baby
makes me so happy.
Shout out to Auntie Baby.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Raj, we're doing a section, a series on my podcast about physicians thanking the people that train them. Now, you are quadruple board certified. You've done 2 fellowships and a residency. There are plenty of people who have trained you along the way. There must be somebody who sticks out as having made an impact on you. So who is that, and what lessons did they teach you?
Oh, man. When it's the right person, it just comes instinctively. Her name is Dr. Janet Shapiro, and I trained at the time it was called St. Luke's Roosevelt Hospital in New York. And, I just want to say that I love her dearly because when you first meet her and meet me, we're totally opposites. You know what I mean? I am loud, and I don't let people finish their sentences, and I'm quick to answer things. And she is, it's not quiet, but she's the type of person when she does speak, everyone just listens because only the utmost awesome things leave her mouth. And I love that she's never startled. I love that when a code happens, she's not running and tripping over people. I love that her voice isn't loud like mine, but people are quiet when she makes recommendations. So I wanted to have everything that she had that wasn't part of my innate personality. And let me just be straight. I wouldn't never change who I am because I love who I am. But I always tell people who I mentor or whatever it is to take the best of everyone. And those are the best qualities. And, as time goes forward, a lot of the people I worked with when they were my attendings or whatnot, you just lose contact. But, she always is great about my birthdays. If I accomplish something and she sees it on social media to be proud of me. And yeah, I always kind of hope, even now at my age, I always try to hope that the good parts of me kind of morph into her, because it's one of those people that I always just kind of look up to, and I know it because I'm sure everyone could get my back. Like, you could get my back on this. There's certain people you just call doctor, even though you shouldn't call them doctor because that's a long time ago.
Yes.
I always call her Dr. Shapiro out of that pure respect. She's like, no, Raj, call me Janet. And I'm like, sure, I will. It's just weird, but I love her so much,
Now, where was this? Was this your residency, one of your fellowships? Where did you run into her at?
Yeah, so this is when I did my pulmonary critical care fellowship in New York. I did my residency at Michigan State. I did my pulmonary critical care in NY, and just, I loved being in New York for that period of time. And then from there, I went on to Detroit, Henry Ford Hospital, to do my sleep medicine fellowship. And she's always been just an awesome person throughout, always encouraging what I do. If I get a journal article published, whether it be for Good Housekeeping or New England Journal, she's just equally proud of me.
That's awesome. So what is a lesson? What is something that you've taken from Dr. Shapiro?
I would say the biggest thing is that being an attending, it's that fine balance of, sure, you are fortunate, depending upon where you practice, to have amazing fellows and residents, and they're telling you a lot of information about a patient, but it's your job to actually take the time to review the chart, synthesize your own differential, what you want to do, and kind of use all this information people are throwing at you during rounds for face value. Okay, but let's look at this. Are you sure we looked at these values? And always to try to take a step back, to really just take that breath before you open your mouth and say something. So I'm always catching myself taking that breath, when someone's running up to me asking a question, to make sure I give the right answer. So that's what I got from her.
That's awesome. That's a lesson that I learned the hard way too, is that you always do your own chart review.
100%.
Yes.
100%.
All right. I wanted to.
This episode is brought to you by Netflix. So Netflix is basically Santa this year. 2 NFL games on Christmas Day, streaming live. At 1 p.m. Eastern, it's Cowboys, Commanders. Then at 4:30, you've got Lions, Vikings. Midwest football, playoff stakes, and probably some snow. Watching holiday football is a tradition the whole family can enjoy. Open some gifts, grab some food, settle in, and watch NFL Live on Netflix this Christmas Day.
This podcast is brought to you by Carvana. Carvana lets you buy your next car on your terms. Explore a massive inventory online, filter for what matters, and find your perfect match. Then choose delivery to your home or pick it up at one of Carvana's iconic car vending machines. Every car also comes with a 7-day money-back guarantee, so you can make sure it's the right fit. Buy your car on Carvana. Delivery or pickup fees may apply. Limitations and exclusions may apply. See our 7-day return policy at Carvana.com.
Carvana.
Get into your media. You are a regular on The Doctors when that was on the air, and you were also had a series with Ann Curry. How did you get involved with so much media? Is it a product of being in Southern California?
So I guess you're right. It's so weird now that I'm laughing, but maybe you're right. So The Doctors was just pure coincidence. I remember one day The Doctors, they film at Paramount Studios, which is like maybe 15, 20 minutes away. They literally needed someone almost that day to go on stage because the person they really wanted there canceled. And they're like, hey, we kind of saw you because I did some educational videos on, YouTube and stuff. And I remember the topic was exploding head syndrome. I'm like, really? And, I just said, screw it. I'm going to do it. I just showed up there. I did a little Wikipedia and I went over there and, it was really cool. And I remember I told my wife I'm going there and she's like, hey, I'm going to meet you over there. So she met me at the studio just to clap her hands and kind of calm my nerves down. And I thought that was it. That was my, 5 minutes of whatever. And then literally about a day or two later, the Doctor's studio called me to do one more episode. Then a week or two later, another one. The next thing you know, I did almost 7 seasons and I did over 50 episodes of The Doctors.
Jeez.
And yeah, thank you thank you to the doctors for always being nice and treating me like I was part of the staff and I was a regular. And that's what kind of led to me being on Chasing the Cure, which is really, oh my God, I can't say enough of it. And this was a national televised show, worldwide televised on TNT and TBS. And Ann Curry was the host. And I only had the most things to say about her. She's an awesome role model in so many ways. And yeah, she had a lot of doctors to pick from. I remember the first day I went there, I'm like, wow, there are a lot of doctors here. And no, she picked me. And like I said, I had no formal training. This wasn't what I trained for. That wasn't part of my quadruple board certification, was media. And it really felt awesome. The last episode of the show, my youngest, Sadie, was born, and I wasn't supposed to be on the show, but things worked out really well. She came out healthy. I made it to the studio, and Ann Curry and the show put a picture of my baby on TV so everyone could see it.
Oh,
and
wow.
You're making me go back memory lane, and I'm kind of getting a little teary-eyed of all these cool stories. But yeah, that's how I got involved in a lot of media.
So we should assume that if we get a job at USC, there's television and movie producers roaming the halls, offering jobs and spots in TV and movies. Is that the message that you're sending to my listeners?
The message is you have to be nice to all your partners, because you definitely need people to cover for you. And that's the message I'm going to say.
Okay.
And if you want to do all these things, you have to make sure that you have a nice, partner, in my case, wife, because a lot of it has to be after hours, which means you're not going to miss a lot of dinners or go to work super early in the morning. So it's some sacrifice.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess the reason that we know you is the Dr. Raj show, the Dr. Raj podcast. Now, what prompted you to start this podcast?
Well, once again, your show's name is so appropriate. It's like, thank you, Patrick and Chris, who just believe in me, and they're our producers and everything. And the reason I got into it's because someone in my medical world, I do team up with, and we do these medical questions and books. And he was like, Raj, you would be perfect for a podcast. And I said, really? I don't know. But part of me is kind of like, he's convincing me my job would be to talk to people and just be myself. And I'm like, I kind of like doing that. So I got the opportunity to call it the Dr. Raj podcast, which is a potpourri of different topics sprinkled with a little medicine. And I just love it. And now, when I think of the podcast, I really think of it as an audio photo album. And now that I'm almost 75 episodes in, that it makes me want to, when I get older, I want to listen to these episodes and look back about where I was in my life. And the reason why I said that is because, my parents, my mom, even my dad, I know he's getting a little bit worse, but when he's in bed, he loves listening to just my voice. I don't know if he knows what the hell I'm talking about, but he just loves listening to my voice. And that's why I love doing it now. It's like an audio photo album of my memories and what I've been doing at that time in life.
So what do you want to get out of this? I guess, is it just nostalgia or memories or a journal, or what do you hope that the Dr. Raj podcast becomes?
There's always a part of me that wanted to actually do what I say in the beginning of my little spiel. I want it to provide happiness and awareness. And, I love David and Goliath stories, and I always want to do that. But of course, I think now it's a lot of it is just makes me happy that I get to meet these people, makes me better. And I would say when I'm wearing the media hat, you don't get a chance to be on air quote TV and all these things all the time. There's always ups and downs. And, when I'm having downs, I still got this wonderful podcast that puts me out there. It gives me a chance to say, hey, I'm still someone who loves doing these things. So it serves so many different purposes. But I'll tell you this because you're early in your podcast career, as long as it makes you happy, I'm never bummed out that I have to do the podcast. Because the minute you're kind of bummed out, then you know what? You should start doing something else. You should do things that make you happy.
Mm-hmm. Well said. Well said. I listened to a handful of episodes. If somebody was going to give the Dr. Raj podcast a go, what episodes would you suggest that they start out with?
So I think of the big three in my opinion. I think number one, Bob Saget. So God bless his soul. I only knew him for why he went on the podcast, which is his sister. It's not a secret; it's public knowledge. Died of scleroderma and pulmonary fibrosis that can develop in people with scleroderma, and he was there to raise awareness, and he did so much for the Scleroderma Research Foundation. And I just want everyone to know he came on for free. He came on without twisting his arm. And he is so much of a bigger star than what the podcast was. And he treated me so nicely. He actually even wrote the foreword for one of my books. That's how awesome he is. So please listen to that podcast. Number two, recent one, Lindsey Vonn. She's a gold medal skier. And once again, she was cool and nice and fun. And she had no reason to actually come on my podcast. She's so popular, but she did it because she wanted to raise awareness about insomnia, which is pretty awesome. And the last one is my girl, Mina, who I love dearly. She came on the podcast to talk about how it's like being a sibling of someone who has autism. And everyone just loves that. And it was just going to take a lot of courage. I think she did that when she was 8, turning 9. It's not easy to go on a podcast and you have me, being all fancy schmancy, cracking jokes, and she's on there talking about autism, but she did such a good job and we got such a good response. So those are my three. Those are my three ones right there.
I think that's a good start. I will say that the Bob Saget episode was outstanding. I think that's everything I think the Dr. Raj podcast is. He was so nice and you guys had such great chemistry. You got into his story, you got him to talk and you got him to be vulnerable, but then you also were able to sprinkle in learning pearls for your medical students. And then I was going to follow up and ask if he ended up writing the foreword to that book. And it sounds like he did. So
he did. And then of course, afterwards, we know what happened to Bob. And, and it's just funny how when you know someone as Full House and the other things he did on HBO, there's a totally different personality to all these people out there. And I just think that he is a testament to that's how I don't remember him for those other things. I remember him for being kind and generous and just a great person.
When he passed, there was a lot of outpouring from the people that knew him, talking about, how generous he was, how kind he was, how interested he was in everybody. And you actually get to see that or hear that in the Dr. Raj podcast episode he did. So I would invite everybody, if you haven't listened to that episode, that's 35, 40 minutes well spent.
Thank you.
The other two episodes are really good too.
Thank you.
The other ones that I listened to, you talked about dysphonia, postpartum depression. There's really not an issue that you won't tackle. How do you choose your guests?
Oh, awesome question. I would say it really depends on what hat I'm wearing. I think part of me, wants to live up to the name of what I say in the beginning of the podcast, happiness and wellness. And so whatever's a hot topic. So for example, yesterday, literally, September is Suicide Prevention Month. And I got a chance to talk to an amazing person to talk about suicide awareness. And that's going to be coming up. My mom, a couple of months ago, she unfortunately suffers from really bad osteoporosis and she can't tolerate, oral bisphosphonates. She got IV bisphosphonates, but her T-score was getting worse. I know I'm getting a little medical. Sorry about that. So what are my options? And I thought if I'm having this problem, I want to get an endocrinologist on here to really break it down. So I always kind of do things that are a little self-serving, you know what I mean? But at the same time, things are out there. And yeah, I'm not going to lie to you, part of me and you having a podcast is trying to get listeners. And of course, if I get popular people, I'm not going to say no, So of course, I was so happy to have, stars on there. And I actually, one of my guests was the lead singer of a band called Save Ferris. It's kind of like ska music, around the
I love that band.
Yeah.
And my daughter loves that band too. She loves the Come On Eileen cover.
Come On Eileen. So she came on the podcast and she actually was talking about depression and it was awesome. So I think my advice to you is you got to have a little balance of both. And, and sometimes just go with your gut, you know what I mean? And sometimes it's just finding time to do it. And if you have someone who's motivated and wants to go on it, chances are I'm going to say yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I wanted to get in now to you are a program director for both, I think it's the pulmonary critical care and sleep medicine there at USC, correct?
Really close, really close. So I'm the associate, you got to be specific here, associate program director for sleep medicine fellowship and the assistant program director for the IM residency. So
Okay.
yeah, that's my titles.
Yeah, I'm really showing that I'm a money grubbing private practice doc right now and not in academics. You've won a lot of teaching awards, so I wanted to talk to you. What is your teaching method? Why are you winning all these awards?
Number one, I think it's all about good PR. No, that's joking. I think that it's effort. It really comes down to, and my favorite thing of all this certificate and that certificate is internal medicine. It's the foundation, in my opinion. And I really enjoy trying to make teaching, whether it's going to be old school didactics or me doing a podcast, to be entertaining and fun. And I think that's the hardest part of medicine. I think that, keeping it interesting, especially nowadays when I'm competing with Wikipedia, I'm competing with phone apps, I'm competing with all this tech, I'm competing with A to the I, artificial intelligence,
Mm-hmm.
I'm very dinosaur in the sense that I really feel there's an art to having a chalk talk. There's an art to being in person and talking and keeping someone engaged. So I think that streak I had at USC, I'm so fortunate to have people that want to listen to me and being in a situation that they're inviting me to do board review or just teaching. Also, big thank you, shout out to the hospital before I came to USC, which is in Philadelphia. It's called Abington Memorial Hospital. They're kind of teed up with, right now I think it's Thomas Jefferson. And I was only there for 2 years. And the year I left, I got a teaching award, a Golden Apple Teaching Award. And for some reason, that one is the most special, because I wasn't there for a long time and they really, really surprised me and embraced me. And, and I think it gave me the confidence to go to a big university center and carry on what I believe in. But yeah, I think it's being yourself, doing the time, doing the effort, and not changing who you are as time goes on, but knowing how to adapt to make sure that you keep a majority of the people happy.
So let's get into the weeds here. Let's say we go back, I'm not going to say how many years, but I'm a medicine intern again, and I'm on the Dr. Dasgupta service. Do you do regular medicine and the ICU or just the ICU, or
Great question.
Where are you teaching residents?
So right now, I don't get to round on general medicine wards. We have amazing IM, attendings that do that. So most of my teaching is done in the medical ICU. If we do, pulmonary consult service, I do have amazing fellows. Or if I'm in sleep, I do have amazing sleep fellows. But a lot of the general teaching goes in the medical ICU. And that's where you'll see me, doing my teaching thing the most.
Okay, so I'm on the ICU. I'm on the Dasgupta team.
Mm-hmm.
What should I expect? Am I doing learning issues, or am my presentations are getting cut to shreds? Like, what are you doing with these residents specifically?
I always think my favorite thing about teaching is using the I letter. And what is my favorite I letter or the I word? It's integrate. And I always feel like a lot of us spend a lot of time, doing USMLE or step 1 or complex level 1. And there's a lot of basic science and we just tend to forget about it. And I think people forget there's a way to integrate it, especially things like, physiology and clinical medicine, path and clinical medicine, pharm. So you could definitely see me integrating and most people enjoy it. They're like, wait a minute, did he just do a throwback to like step 1 phys, as far as what to expect, I always do the disclaimer in the beginning saying, hey, I may ask you some questions, not because I'm want to put you on the spot and make you feel bad about yourself, but just to gauge what is the level of our rounds and what you need to know. And it helps me out. I think that you definitely have to change, as you get older and as things change. And, my wife, I'll tell this story because I know she's thinking it, that when she first met me, she was like, wow, you ask a lot of questions and maybe you need to tone down a little bit because maybe the Socratic method doesn't work for everyone. It definitely didn't work for my wife,
I'm going to stop you. So, like, what? This is why you're courting your wife? You're pimping her, or
So back in St. Luke's Roosevelt in New York, she was I am resident. I was Pulm Critical Care Fellow, and there was a definite educational gap as far as year levels of training, and we definitely didn't date at the time. It was actually my last year as a Pulm Critical Care Fellow, and I went to Detroit, that we actually really started to know each other. And I'm like, oh man, I'm leaving, and she went over to Philly to do a rheumatology fellowship. So we were long distance for a while, but she remembered me from our time in St. Luke's Roosevelt as the person who really asked a lot of questions. And I just cherish her opinion of me and how she evaluates me so much, and then she said that, hey, one thing you could do to be a better teacher is, sure, there are questions. Sure, sometimes you could ask him, but you may need to tone down a little bit and just kind of make it more inclusive. So I've definitely, taken a lot of people's advice and realized that sometimes I will strategically place a question here and there, but sometimes it's a lot better just to kind of let it kind of flow naturally. Or if I'm going to give a talk, I'm going to give the talk. And then if someone wants to ask, they could ask. And by rolling with the punches a little bit, it seemed to work out. I got some teaching awards, so it's doing all right.
Yeah, 6 year. The streak is what, 6 years straight?
It was. I broke the streak. Stupid COVID. I hate COVID.
No.
But hey, I still find that desire to still teach, regardless if I get an award ever again or not. But I'm so happy.
Well said. Well said.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Raj, we're going to go to thank you notes now. So I wrote you a thank you note. This is on hospital printer paper. Dear Dr. Raj, I have been consuming your content for the past few weeks. Your dedication to educating everyone from patients to medical students to your peers and colleagues is obvious and truly admirable. Thank you for dedicating so much of your time and energy to education. There is no subject too taboo or obscure that you won't tackle. Many of us physicians will talk the talk about speaking openly and plainly to the community. You actually walk the walk. Your patients and the reputation of doctors everywhere are better off because of your work. I'm honored to share the pod with you today, Travis.
Wow, that was really heartfelt and nice, and it gave me at least 50% goosebumps on my hand. I like that. Thank you.
Yes, you're doing the Lord's work. It's very high quality content, and I think for anybody, if you're just interested in whatever, some sort of medical problem or medical issue or something, just search the Dr. Raj podcast. There's probably something in there for you, and it's a good starter, good surface level, and that just something to pique your interest and get you going further. So I think your podcast is really great for that. And then the occasional celebrity will stop by. We're going to change things up a little bit. Normally we have the guest read a thank you note, but Dr. Raj has sent me some thank you notes his students have sent him. And one of the things that stuck out to me is it says, "Thank you, Dr. Raj. I'm starting to love physiology because of your unique way of teaching. You are awesome. God bless you." And it's all this. Dear Dr. Raj, thank you for the best physiology class ever. I never understood. I enjoyed physio as much as I did now. Thank you so much. Wish you could teach all the classes. And the last one, thank you, Dr. Raj, for helping physiology be so easy. We'll never forget you. Hope meeting you soon. There's this card that is just covered with these. There's some of Kobe Bryant. I'm guessing that's part of the class as well. And then there's one of Yoda. I have issues with Yoda, but it's the same. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and time with us. You're a very good teacher. I wish I had met you when I was still a med student. Again, I guess you get a lot of these for the Pearls books, or what were these from?
These were from my Kaplan courses. And, I've been teaching for Kaplan for, almost 20 years. I teach USMLE Step 1, 2, and 3. And I take the most pride in teaching Step 1 because it's just tough.
Yeah.
And I love teaching physio. And, to make a Step 1 class interesting and funny, it's tough. And everyone you read just puts a tear to my eye for a bunch of different reasons. And so the reason why Kobe Bryant was because, it's when Kobe retired, and he actually has this thing where he was talking about Mamba out. And it was almost kind of like we had an ongoing joke in the class that, hey, if you know the answer and you're pretty good about it, don't hesitate. Mamba out. It just became the phrase. I am super geeky Star Wars person. I grew up with the Holy Trilogy, and
Yeah.
I can't resist it. And I think the students know that to get on my good side, and it doesn't take much to get on my good side. You throw a little Star Wars in there, and so
Yeah.
they made a little Yoda card, and that's just awesome.
That's awesome. All right, Dr. Raj, last question.
Yeah.
Are you the happiest man in podcasting?
And when you meet me after the podcast or whenever's, I never change who I am because I think that it will just kind of seep through. And I hope I am the happiest. I am so chatty and I'm so smiley. I close my eyes when I talk to you just to make sure I tone it down a little bit. But
This is toned down.
this is toned down a little bit.
Okay, just setting the right. This is toned down, Raj Dasgupta.
But yes, I think I'm one of the happiest people out there.
Well, it's our personal spokesman for serotonin, Dr. Raj. Thank you for letting me on the pod. Thank you for doing all this. It's been a real treat. I'm looking forward to being part of the ALM family.
Oh, definitely. And once again, I can't wait till we team up again when we have our on the simulated patient, our intubating competition.
That's on.
Everyone out there, I hope you enjoyed this reverse Dr. Raj podcast. I gotta say, I like being the guest. I hope I don't get lazy by this. This is really nice, and I just want to say thank you to the guest host today, which is Dr. Travis McVay. And, even though it's my first time interacting with him, he seems down to earth. I love his questions, and he did his research and all these little things, because I do podcasts, it really shows that he cares about his guests to do the best job. So good luck with your podcast going forward.
Thank you very much, Raj. It's been a pleasure.
All right. And hope you enjoyed this episode of the Dr. Raj podcast. And I'll see you again in the next couple of weeks.
Thanks for listening. This has been a production of Ars Longa Media. Our producers are Madison Linden and Chris Brightigan. Our executive producer is Dr. Patrick Beeman. This podcast is for educational purposes only and not intended for medical advice. Ars Longa, Vita Brevis.